tutorials then, so we can just play a new game. Can play the campaign. I assume it will level up in difficulty. As in, it'll be easier at first. Because you can't start chapter 2 before you've done chapter 1. Although it doesn't mention any sort of difficulty. Anyway, East Coast Conquest. The year is 1830. In America, the railroad business takes its first steps. In this chapter, you'll start a technological revolution guided by hardware entrepreneur Erastus Corning. Get to know the economic system of Railway Empire 2 as you conquer the East Coast. Ranking. Please wait. I don't know any of these people. Maybe for the best. And then we can choose a character. And, so what we saw before were like character traits. C. And maybe we can name our character as well. But your character can't be changed in this game mode. Well, fair enough. But we can change his name. What is your name? I don't know. What is your name? I think we'll just go with this. I am Quackiplex. Who are you? Walter. Who's Walter? I'm Quackiplex. Anyway, was born as the son of a baker in Stuttgart, Germany, but broke with family tradition to apprentice as a stonemason. Always a bright and articulate mind, he managed to snatch a position as professor of descriptive geometry afterwards. Through his work, he got a contract to plan a small railway line in Germany, which he was able to complete with great success. Other projects followed soon. Aware of his considerable improvisational skills, Quackiplex sees the railway business as a game. Sometimes you lose, but in the end, only the winner matters. Does it? Anyway, we are the Boston and Albany Railroad, apparently. And the difficulty level, all of these can't be changed because I assume that we are in the campaign. The higher the level of difficulty, the greater the factor. So it's playing it on regular difficulty. Mergers are on. The inflation rate is off. And everything is set to normal costs. So it's not going to stop you using bridges or anything. Refunds are unlimited. Here you can choose whether you should receive a refund when tracks and railway buildings are demolished. Unlimited or only up to 5 days after construction. And you can't found cities. So that is an option in some games, but not, at least on this part of the campaign. Presumably throughout the whole campaign.
The 19th century was a golden age of technology, especially for those of us whose hearts beat with the steady pace of the locomotive.
Choo-choo.
My name is Nagelmakers. I assume you have already heard of me.
Yes. No.
When I was young, I had a dream, a cross-border luxury train from Paris to St. Petersburg.
How did that go?
To make my dream come true, I invited guests. In another time, entrepreneurs like them were the driving force behind progress, but now they were standing in my way. Take this gentleman, for example.
It's not me.
I was planning to revolutionize the industry, just as pioneers like him had done in the early days of the railroad. The late 1820s marked the beginning of a revolution in transportation, both in the Old and the New World. Fueled by steady growth, the industrial centers on the East Coast demanded more and more resources in less and less time.
I do like a game with a good history lesson, don't you?
Roads and even the newly built waterways could hardly meet the increasing demand. However, Inspired minds had combined the idea of tracks and the new invention of the steam engine into a powder keg that was to shake society to its foundations. It only took ambitious pioneers to light the fuse.
And that ambitious pioneer is us.
Glad you're here.
He's
The name
glad.
is Corning, Erastus Corning. You must be the young railroad expert that was recommended to me. Other people don't think much of this newfangled nonsense, but I think investment into this railroad thing and your company is money well spent. I'm the proud owner of a hardware company, and the more railway lines you construct using my steel, the richer I'll get. So don't go bankrupt. But why don't you just get started using the to-do list I created? My company is situated in Albany, so you should connect this city as soon as possible. Don't worry about the difficult terrain. Clever planning is everything.
First things first. Pause. Is there a pause button? Because that would be nice. Additional overlays. I suppose pause, you just hit the button. Right. I was hoping to like read the list and pause at the same time, but that won't let you do that. Deliver 8 loads of lumber to Boston. Well, I think the first thing we really need to do then, do we have a train station? We do, and it is constructed by us. Fine. So we need a station in Albany. Yeah, that was my first question. Albany or Albany? I swear he said Albany. Okay, that is quite far. To me, anyway. Okay, and now spacebar is pausing the game. So now I can read this list in a bit more peace. Take charge of an early railroad company and conquer the East Coast as a technological revolution gets underway. Yes, that's what we're doing. First steps. So June 1830, is that when it wants us to do it, within 6 months? Deliver 8 loads of lumber to Boston. Hint, Mr. Corning has already built a first station at a lumber yard nearby, which can be put into operation immediately. Livestock is also offered at the lumber yard. If necessary, you can prioritize wood by selecting the station in the station list of the rail line. Prioritize wood by selecting the station. Alright, so it'll be an option in there. It's not just you select the one station. So there is lumber nearby, is there? This place. Connection bonus, 121 days left. Right. So we want to come through here. And handily, it's at an angle, because then that probably feeds while we're going through these things. Is this another competitor? No, that's Lopez Fattening. Privately owned, but what does it do? Export, storage, and production. Who knows? But I could buy it. I have so much money. Anyway, let's connect this up. So we want to build a track because there's already a station there. And I reckon let's use the third one. And we will connect into the fourth one here. Maybe it should be a different one. Yeah, can I change that? So that has a slightly odd top speed. If I want it to be max speed, but without the incline. Yeah, toggle contour lines. There you go. So now we might be able to, with the contour lines, it basically will be showing you the same height. So all the land along this line is the same height, and all the land along this line is the same height, which kind of shows you there's a slope going down this way. So you'll see that if I take a steeper angle going this way, that 1% will change up. Except I have lost my track point. There it is. Well, 2%, 3%, all the way down. Anyway, so I kind of want to take this line. I think that would be the best line I could get. But as well, the speed on that corner is going to be terrible because it's so tight. So you do need it to come down this slope quite a bit. Anyway, so 0% on the top. It was almost better at the beginning. Is it a terrible line? Yeah, maybe. It's fine. Just build it. And then we want it to be a double line, do we? Did I get my connection bonus? Maybe. Let's make it a double line. And has that automatically connected? Sure. Okay, so we have the 2 lines. We now have to remember all the other things that we maybe need to do in the tutorial. Except if I turn off contours, much prettier. I can see that I've been knocking down trees and making the whole landscape horrible. Anyway, the rail line, it wants to go up. In fact, no, before we do that, yes, I am sure I want to exit this mode. Before we do that, what we need to do is we need to set the direction of the track. So set 1 to go one way and 1 to go the other way. And then we need the gridiron so that the trains can swap over the tracks before they get into the station. And the same at this end. And then we can think about the line. I could name it, but I'm happy with just whatever it calls it. So we're going to choose Boston, one side of the track, the Stevens shop, and the other side of the track. And this is just going to be freight because this only has freight at the moment. If we want to build a passenger train, I think we want a new line for that later on. And maybe that's the line which goes through all the way to Albany, which it was mentioning. So let's just make this a freight train, but also we have to choose the locomotive. So the John Bull is a mixed use. And so is the Grasshopper. So I guess we're just going to choose the John Bull. Your train line only enters the station of Boston's to turn around. As a result, your trains may lose time. This may be due to the order of stations, the platforms used, or the platform directions. Is it because there's no goods between, like, Stevens stop doesn't want any goods from Boston? Let's confirm it anyway, and if I do something wrong, I can always go back and try and fix it. Okay, so that's the first thing it wants me to do. But we have to deliver the loads of lumber to Boston first. We also have to deliver 8 loads of sugar to Boston, which is a connection bonuses are paid after first delivery has arrived. Fine. So where is sugar? This is the sugar. I mean, it looks like sugar. Yes, it's sugar. Okay. So there's no station here. So if we want to connect those up, we have to build a station, which we can do. There's an Indian village. Currently live here. Some Indians relocate the position of their village multiple times a year. If you want to lay tracks in this spot right now, you have to recompense the inhabitants. Right. So I should avoid the line which goes through it. But is the whole circle? Because you can see there's a bit of land here. So I'm going to have to go like up and around it. I will do an angled line then. Which probably makes sense because to join up to New York City. Who's this guy? I feel like he's got more stuff going on. Maybe I should buy some of his company. Or maybe I get more bonuses for connecting things, so maybe I won't worry about that just yet. Anyway, let us build a station. What I also didn't do was I didn't build a supply tower. So I think that's a good place for it. Sure. And we can build our train station on that same sort of line. Like so. Maybe a bit more angled this way. Again, I don't really know if I'm actually going to join up with New York, because that's someone else's railway empire. Okay. So this is... Does it only have one track in it? Construct extension. So a maintenance depot, but that's not quite what I was looking for. Maybe let me get a track constructed. Sure, the second one. We're going to join that. Oh no, yeah, there are multiple lines. That is going to build a tunnel, a $1.4 million tunnel. So we're going to change this. We're going to try and make it such that we don't have a tunnel. I mean, it's nice in the sense that it has a 0% gradient, but equally, that's got even more tunnels, and that goes through their lands. Can I go up here? That's silly. That's still got more tunnels. It's not too bad though. How cheap do you want it to be? Or maybe like going up to here is good, and then I work out how to do the rest of it. But then it's almost guaranteed to be tunnels. That Indian reservation is making a bit of a mess. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. A big spiral through the Indian reservation, through the station. No. Or if I change the track height at this point. Yes. It stops building a tunnel, which means it's cheap, but it means that it is it potentially has a gradient, a 3% gradient in each direction. So can I change that? One, that's 2% on this end. And it's still trying to make tunnels. This game is clearly a lot about choosing the best route. But it can't matter this much, can it? I want to have the money around, that's the thing, so that I can actually use it to build more lines and stations and stuff. So building expensive tunnels is not really on my list of things to do. Right, I think the what I had here earlier is maybe my favourite option so far. That's got a bit of an expensive bridge though. Oh no, it's only small. If it's terrible, we can come back and fix it. Go on. And we will build the same track next to it. Mind the gap. I sure shall. Yeah, I'd like you to... Why do you not want to... Is it just the angle? You look like you're on the wrong bit of track. Sure. Or maybe it automatically selects it. Anyway. Build that. We set the direction. And build some gridirons. At both ends. And a supply tower supply tower. Somewhere in the middle. Near the bridge. You know, to get a good view. And that's it for the actual trains. I mean, the tracks. Now if we put a line in from Davis Terminal to Boston, and again, it's going to be the mixed locomotive, but I suppose we just want it to be freight. I could let that run a bit, but I still have some money. And it wants us to transport 320 passengers without changing trains from Boston to Portland, ME. Is that Maine? I apologize to any Americans and my lack of knowledge on your 2-character code abbreviations for your state names. And then beyond that, to expand Boston in size, which would be requiring some kind of grain to create beer, according to this. So the next thing, yeah, is to connect up Portland, which we will do with 2 other lines here. And this will be the express lines, in fact. Yeah, having done these lines, I now regret doing them on 3 and 4. Maybe I'll create some like parallel lines, which then these 2 will deviate off. Interesting. I don't know. But for now, we only want passengers, I guess. So we're going to construct a line from here to here. But before we can do that, we need an actual station. Not one of those fake stations. There's also sugar up here. Any other cities up here? What? Who are you? Doesn't say. Or are you the actual city? No. Okay, so we're going to build it. With those things in mind, because we do have to go to Bangor as a connection bonus as well. So I guess that sort of angle. Sure, it doesn't really matter that much. Although, I should remember my lesson of not building stations where they're going to have horrible cliffs right next to the end of them, but I think this one is just about alright. There's nothing else on this. In fact, no. Let's start on this one. We're going to go into the second one there. That is a perfectly good line. No issues with that. And then we'll build the track next to it, which that is a parallel track, isn't it? Yes. Parallel tracks. Done. The directions as well. No, other way, please. And the gridirons to allow swapping over from X to Y. Oh, it's giving me achievements, which are on the overlay, so you can't actually see them. And this will also need a supply tower by the sea. And to construct a line, and this is going to be an express line, because it wants us to passengers. Yes. So we're going to create an express line between Boston and Portland, Maine. And we're going to choose, well, the only locomotive that we have access to, but we're going to say it's express. Confirm. Right, I mean, we still have 1.1 million in the bank, so I could keep building without pressing play. So there's connection costs, not costs, what are they? Bonuses. 275 days to connect up Albany. So that's maybe something I should be thinking about next, is to come around here. There's some wool there, I believe. And, well, if we need beer, then beer will come from grain, and there's some grain over here anyway. So, oh, and there's beer in Albany. So maybe that's the route to go next. Or we just continue up on this coast. What is this? Is that stone? Salt. Okay. So this is the connection bonus which goes out first, so I guess we should connect it up. In terms of the... what does it say? Connection bonuses are paid after the first delivery has arrived. I guess in either direction. And also, do we have a maintenance yard in Boston? What have they given us? I don't know. What have they given us? Boston. Sure. Routes using the station. Passengers and mail. Actually, what is the demand? I mean, at the moment it's just Portland. Oh, that's for passengers and mail. Yeah. For stock and freight and stuff. What are they demanding? A bit of beer. Yeah. Sugar, cloth. Although cloth is met somehow. Maybe we're producing it in the city. No, because it's exporting meat. So the city is close enough to the ranch that it's probably getting natural meat in there. Natural meat. I mean, the flow of goods will show us. Yeah. Anyway. It's fine. What was I looking for originally? I don't know. I've lost... oh yeah, the maintenance. Maybe I have to click on the actual station. Construct extension. Yeah, so I could, with the help of the maintenance depot, locomotives are automatically serviced if their condition is below the maintenance limit. Sure, I feel like that's required. And let us... yeah, we're going to build it. We're going to build that other station. And all the way up in Bangor. We could go through this sugar place. But I reckon if we want to connect it in, we just need to stick a station here. So, you know, that will line up to that, and then up through here. I mean, I could slightly angle it to go up and around to here. Slightly, not too much. And we're going to have track. Or maybe we won't have we won't use the rightmost, because that could go off to there if we have a separate track. But as I say, we're probably not. And again, same for that one. So we'll probably stick it onto the third one in. How's that track? Great, except for the fact that it has a big tunnel in it. So how do we avoid the tunnel? Is there a decent... there's just a big hill there, as the contours show. So we could try and go around that. That does work, but that creates a tunnel that A, deviates away from the plan of using this thing, and B, creates an extra tunnel by going through that mountain range. I say mountain range, hills. I think the 0% incline and top max speed is good. Let's go with that. And if we were to click on the next one, please. Please. I don't know why. It's like, here's, you know, here's the line for parallel thing, and it's like, it's clearly in the wrong place. I don't know. I suppose if you just click on the button, then it's giving you the parallel track automatically. And that equally looks fine. Go for it. Set the directions. And the gridirons. Right. We may even be able to start, you know, letting time pass. And you know, not accidentally. After we do 20 more things. Actually, that's maybe a bad place for a supply tower. Might undo. Where is the undo button? Right, if I just do Control Z, what's that going to do? No, nothing. Because it cost me 30 to place. How does one undo? Yes, supply tower owned by me. Select supply tower. Aha. Right click it. Show rail lines. Cityless rail lines. Multiplayer tips and tricks. Research. I haven't looked at research yet. Demolish. There we go. So if I... Is it going to give me the option? Refunded 30,000, which is the exact thing I paid for it. Cool. Maybe because I did it within 5 days. Okay, I do not need this menu anymore, thank you. But we will go and build that again, but maybe not so close to that place, just in case we put an extra line or a station in and around there. Okay, we then need a line. And is it going to be express? Yes. I mean, they have cloth, so that could actually be useful to bring the cloth down. Let's just... which means I would need a new one, like a different line. Dempa, welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream. Thanks for chatting. You downloaded this tonight and did all the tutorials. Seems like a fun game. Yeah, I've been going through the tutorials in the stream. Although, and I want to ask you this, because I was failing to complete the second tutorial, not through my own ability, but because it was bugging out in a couple of different ways. And it just... The first time I placed the track, and it wanted me to do parallel tracks, and it wouldn't let me choose where it wanted the parallel tracks to go. So I couldn't complete it then. And it happened to you as well. Yeah. So I restarted it, did the track in a different place, and then later on, it was like, you can cycle through the trains on the line, and I couldn't select the line to cycle through the trains. And at that point, I think I was right near the end of the tutorial. Like at least I was hoping that, because it had been going on for a while. I was just like, you know what? I think I've learnt. I'm hoping I've learnt what it has told me, what it wants to tell me from this thing. Yeah, you had that one as well. Like, maybe they'll go and fix it. But that was the last thing to do. Okay, so did you try it again, like for a third time? I lost my patience with it. To not try it a third time, but I'm glad I'm not the only one. But if it was the last thing to do, then I think we learnt most of the things, which is good to know. So yeah, this is my first game after playing the tutorial. That's why I'm going very slowly and haven't really connected a lot of things up. You did it again because you didn't know how much there was left to do. Yeah, I was purely making assumptions that I was near the end because there had been a lot of information in that tutorial. And then I think the tutorial 3, like the one straight after it, was like three clicks or something, very few clicks in that third tutorial, and it was like, oh yeah, now you're done on this one. So anyway, you and a friend are going to try the co-op tomorrow. Oh, co-op. I would need to first try and get used to the AI and the game itself before venturing out into co-op. I'm not a huge co-op gamer, but I like that it has the option for multiplayer. So it has both cooperative and like competitive multiplayer then. That's interesting. How does co-op work? Like you have different trains, but you can't buy each other out, or like you're working together with the same pool of money, or you have different pools of money? You think it's only co-op? Okay, because like against the AI, you're kind of competitive in the sense that there is the company screen, and you have competitors, and so you would be able to buy shares of their company, which I assume this is my competitor near New York. You have the same company with the same economy. Okay, that's, I suppose, one way to do it. Although you may then just be fighting for clicks on like, I want to build a train line here, I want to build a train line here. You need to have a good friend who agrees with your strategy, I suppose. But that's what co-op is. Working together. Cool. What was I trying to do? Oh yes, what I was trying to do was join up Bangor and Portland, and I was trying to work out if I wanted it to be passengers and mail or to have freight, because this does have cloth. It'd be fun if you could do multiplayer and you were competing against each other. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure that it doesn't have that mode. I haven't really explored any of the options, but yeah, maybe it has both co-op and multiplayer. As far as I'm concerned, you're the expert in this game, having played maybe a bit more, or at least planned to play a bit more. Maybe on this route here, this one will be the express, and then I can make a freight all the way down into Boston, which would ruin this bit, but I can fix that maybe. I don't suppose you know, is there a way to edit the track such that I can move these across? Maybe that's something I should try first. And if I turn off the contour lines, if we select, that's just the rail line, isn't it? Track construction. Yeah, once it's built, it doesn't let you edit it. You'd have to demolish it, I guess. I suppose I could do that. This is going to be a freight line anyway, so I could just make it a four-way gridiron on these two tracks here, four-way up to like this point, and then have two that merge in, and these two can veer off up towards Portland. For now, I'm going to set this as the express route. And we will worry about that in the near future. By near future, I may even mean like now, but I might as well get things running. What is this going to be? Mixed, express, and should work. You can buy that thingy thing so that trains can change track when they're closing up to station. Yeah, the gridiron. I think, yeah, that's what I was saying. So I could build two more tracks out here and have it as a four-way swap, but I'll still need to have these two join up into here and like have these two also join up maybe higher up. But I suppose, yeah, the gridiron may be a bit ugly, and well, maybe not ugly, but it will probably cause it to be less efficient because the trains will be waiting a bit more, which maybe isn't a problem when you know, it's not a problem until you have lots and lots of trains on the track. a tricky position. Yeah, with this, I wasn't thinking too hard. I thought, oh, I'll just use a couple from the middle, without thinking that I would need 4 tracks to go up this coast. It's fine. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like, and if you think you would enjoy more, then please subscribe, or even join me live on Twitch. Whilst it's cliche, all of these will help the channel. On screen is something carefully curated, or something the YouTube algorithm suggests, or maybe even both. In any case, have a great day.